sundown towns. Let's talk about it. Walton County, Georgia is 81st on the list. In this three-part series, we're going to learn about a dozen racially motivated unalivings, including the mass lynching of 2 couples. Let's learn history. Our ancestors were enslaved in this county. White people built generational wealth from our ancestors' free labor in their cotton fields and their homes. We were enslaved on large plantations like the one owned by Carter Hill in Good Hope, where he and his family enslaved and sold hundreds of our ancestors, like our ancestor Alonzo Franklin Herndon, who was born into slavery in Walton County. He ended up being our first millionaire. His story is incredible. Please learn more about him, Alonzo Franklin Herndon. And Alf Richardson was also born into slavery in Walton County, and he moved away right after emancipation, and he was our first representative in Georgia. After emancipation, our ancestors knew that church, politics, and education was needed to find success. And by 1867, we founded Missionary Baptist Church. And in 1868, according to the newspapers, our ancestors were already using their political voice in voting. And in 1873, we know a young black boy was unalived by Joseph Braswell, and the one who did it, he was on the run. Wonder if anyone was ever charged for this. Probably not, because this was a brewing Jim Crow Sundown County. And by 1879, Mr. Barry Sorrells was taken from his home, and in front of his family, he was unalived. Quote, "Cat Lynch once more disposed of a Negro in the field, but church was our safe place." And in 1885, Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church was founded. But you can never be safe enough in a Jim Crow sundown town. And in 1889, a man was unalived in the back while headed to Social Circle by a white man over an argument. The newspaper named Perk, yet he somehow got away. And in 1890, there was a lynching in Social Circle. Or was it? Something tells me he was. Come back for part 2 when we learn about the sheer terror that our ancestors survived in this Jim Crow sundown towns/county, Walton County, Georgia. Part 2, sundown town number 81, Walton County, Georgia. In part 1, we learned about our first millionaire, we learned about some of our first churches, and 4 racially motivated unalivings that I found. In this part, we're going to learn about more racially motivated unalivings and how this place undoubtedly became a Jim Crow sundown town. Let's continue learning. By 1895, this town was undoubtedly a Jim Crow sundown town when a black man in Social Circle was unalived for no reason at all. But by 1898, baby, our ancestors were stepping out dapper and having a cakewalk at our historic Negro Presbyterian Church. And by the turn of the century, education stayed a top priority for our ancestors. So by 1906, we had a school in Monroe called Pine Grove on West Maribel Street. Unfortunately, I also learned about one of our schools and Methodist Church in Loganville by a newspaper article about the unaliving of Miss Irene White when someone shot through a window in 1909. And it wouldn't be long before this Jim Crow sundown town made sure we knew our place. In 1911, Tom Allen was taken from a train in Social Circle by a mob of over 200 white men on his way to trial and lynched. Not satisfied, this same mob found Mr. Allen's friend Richard Watts in jail and lynched him too. In 1916, a man was rushed to Athens from Walton County with a rope still around his neck, seconds away from being lynched in Walton County. But our ancestors in Walton County were still pushing forward, as we do, and in 1919, St. James AME was dedicated, according to the newspaper. In 1920, I had to giggle at what Mr. Robert Askins said to the judge, quote, White folks is white folks. When they want things from us Negroes, they get some. Our place was clear in this Jim Crow sundown town. Come back for part 3 when we learn about the last mass lynching in Georgia. We'll learn about our fight for equality in education and the Klan showing up at our marches in the 80s. Obsessed. Part 3, Sundown Town number 81, Walton County, Georgia. In parts 1 and 2, we learned about 7 racially motivated unalivings that I found. We learned about our first millionaire. We learned about some of our historic churches and schools. Now we're going to look at our last school before separate and equal, before integration, and the mass lynching that took place at Moore's Ford Bridge. Let's continue learning. By 1934, we had a school at Social Circle, and they were competing in sports. Now, child, listen, I don't know what sport. It was a doubleheader, and we had a boys and girls team. In 1941, the white population had a meeting and decided it was time to improve the general wellness of our ancestors in Walton County. But don't get fooled, because Jim Crow will always show up. By the 1940s, the Klan and the Night Riders were in full effect. It was not safe for our ancestors to step out of their place during the day or night. Roger Malcolm had an argument with a white farmer. An altercation happened, and 2 weeks later, J.L. Harrison took Mr. Malcolm to jail to pay the fine. On the way back, a mob stopped the car. In the car was Mr. Malcolm, his 7-month pregnant wife, Mrs. Dorothy, and their family, Mr. George and Mrs. May Dorsey. Mrs. Malcolm knew exactly who was doing this, and because she could recognize them, all 4, Mr. and Mrs. Malcolm and Mr. and Mrs. Dorsey, were lynched near the Moore's Ford Bridge. After all of this history, our ancestors started leaving Walton County during the Great Migration. In 1948, the white population decided it's a good thing to help our community rebuild 2 of our churches and schools because, they did just lynch 4 of our ancestors and all. And that's how they put it in the paper. And in 1968, we were still dealing with separate and unequal schools. Our families started demanding equality. We tried separate and equal, but it was never equal. So integration was the only way. But still, in 1982, the Klan was in Walton County and decided to stalk our civil rights marches. After all this, if you've learned anything and you've made it this far, please engage and leave me a comment and let me know. I'd really appreciate it. Can anyone share a first-hand account about this place, past or present? Share this video. Tag them in the comments. Let's learn.